Hi everyone, it's Elizabeth. Thank you so much for stopping by. It has been a couple of weeks since the last Friday flip. Everything is fine, just there's been a bunch of stuff going on that needed my attention, so I've been focused on that, but I hope you are well. Welcome to my channel if you're new. Welcome back if you're someone who's been here for a while. This is the Friday flip, and this is the series in that Friday flip that I am flipping. There's a lot of flips in that sentence. These journals, which have got cardboard covers front and back with a fabric swatch in the center. I apologize for some of the shadows with the lights. It's one of those dark, dreary days again, and the best I can do at the moment. So this particular journal has got a beaded, it almost looks like you could carry it like a purse. And as usual, I do not add that until the very end of the journal. I found it in my stash and I figured, why not add it there? So this particular journal starts in October of 2011. Now again, I've talked about these wallpaper samples. They have, especially in the kids section, the kids wallpaper sample books have got some really fun art, and you can see that in the front and the back. Okay, so that's where that comes from. So this is 2011 October, and as you can see, as with most of the journals in this particular series, there are things that stay the same and things that are different. I still continue to sketch images I find in graphic novels, which is I read a lot, and graphic novels are one of the categories of books I read, and there's always a link to my Goodreads account down below. We had a power outage, kind of drawing from life, a girl that was charging her devices. You know, having paint in the background, doing some sketching and some text. It's, you know, like I said, a lot of these are very similar. Now, one of the things that I have noticed as I go back through some of these older journals is just the layer upon layer of work that goes into each page. And I don't do that as much anymore, although I still do the pieces that you see here. I was playing with kind of creating creatures. There was some prompt I found somewhere in that year about create your own creatures, and so that was kind of fun to play with. And the other thing that I think I've mentioned in the last couple of videos is I really love the framing of pages, and I don't do that as much and would like to bring that back in. I had mentioned that I had joined an art meetup group that was local, and one of the women who came had brought this figurine that she used to practice sketching the human body, and specifically how shadow is created. And so I kind of used that as an example or as a visual to help me do some of the sketches on this page. Again, the creature feature, there you go, creature feature. This must have been around Halloween time. Well, actually much later, November 24th. But I think I was still playing with that idea of creating your own creatures from things that you have. So I think this was a clock of some kind, there was a tin of some kind. It's just kind of fun to see what you come up with. Playing again with, you know, pages that have got images on both sides. This looked like some kind of alien blob. I just went ahead and left it. Drawing from life. A lot of pages. I don't do a lot of Zentangle kind of work, but when I do, I'm almost positive that I tend to do them when I am listening to an audiobook, because that's a perfect time to be doing that. The idea here was to try and capture what a landscape looks like from the plane, kind of playing with, you know, how things are irregular or regular as the case might be. Again, layer upon layer upon layer. There's so many layers on this, kind of fun to see. And then keeping it really simple, just playing with shapes and watercolors. Again, a lot of layers here. I think I had mentioned this at one point, the idea of using henna stencils. I have them in my stash, I just haven't used them, and I use them with acrylic paints, and they come out really fun. This 2012, this was the year I believe I did the 5K to, the couch to 5K practice running, and so that was my first 5K. That was a huge accomplishment for me. Again, playing with layers upon layers. I take a look at images of faces today and can see how my faces have gotten better. Playing with flowers. So I have moved over into 2012 in these particular sets of series. playing with the images of the idea of stained glass. I don't do that kind of work, but I'm always fascinated by how artists create stained glasses pieces. So I was just kind of playing along with that. Sketching at a Barnes & Noble. My nephew wanted me to sketch him as a merman, so that was what that was. Again, similar kinds of things. One of the things that I had picked up along the way were these really inexpensive shimmer watercolors, paints from Michaels, and so I think I had just gotten them. So, it now reminds me that I haven't used these in a while. But it's just kind of fun to see that particular shimmer. I don't know if that will show up on camera or not, but it's kind of fun, right, to just see shimmer on your pages. Again, playing with backgrounds. That's as far as I got there. Kind of the Tisha Moore idea of having a focal image that comes from a magazine with some writing in the background. That was kind of fun to play with. Wing close-ups. Right, just playing along with that. Again, flowers. This entire page, unlike some of the other ones, is all watercolor and pen and ink. So kind of just how do you create washes that, you know, tell a story and that keep separate pieces of the page differentiated from each other. This particular page had acrylic paint in the background with some collage pieces, and then I did some sketching over that. For some reason, I took this piece of paper through the sewing machine. I've done that every now and then. Like, there's a lot more sewing machine work in some of my years after this, and I decided to go ahead and use that to create a frame for this person. I'm always taking quotes from things I'm reading, sketching, actors or actresses from shows I'm watching, drawing from life. These were all at our local Barnes & Noble. The idea of capturing faces, like how a vase and a face can look the same. One of the things that this exercise was really interesting for me was when you draw one side, can you create the mirror image freehand? It's harder than it looks, for me anyway. That was kind of an interesting thing to play with. So this journal starts in October, I think it's October of 2011, and ends in April of 2012. So that's the journal flip I have for you today. Again, these are watercolor pages, papers, 3 signatures that are just bound in very simply into this DIY sketchbook. Let me know if you have any questions or comments down below, as well as please leave me links to anything you have in terms of videos I can go take a look at. I will talk to you soon. Take care. Bye.